Hello techies. In this session, we will test our knowledge on PL500 exam. Here we have a small scenario. What is the scenario? There you can see on my screen, there is a variable has been initialized with the name of success. And the data type is Boolean. And what is the value has been given? At the time of initialization, they have given it as false. Now, we are having the second action, that is do until. In the do until, we are having the condition over here such as success, which is the variable which we have initialized. The success is equal to true. In that case, the following actions has to be executed. There you can see inside the properties of do until, I am having count is 3. And the timeout, it has been given in the format of PT 15 minutes it has been given. This is my small scenario. For this thing, I am having the questions over here. The first one is that what does the value 3 in the count property represents? There you can see in my count I am having 3. What is this count value represents? Now the second question is that what does the value PT15M in the timeout property represents? Right? These are the two questions which we have. Before answering this question, let me show you practically by developing this flow in the cloud. Let me switch to make.powerautomate.com. I have created a cloud flow with the name of Initialize variable flow. Right? There you can see I have initialized the variable with the name success and the data type is Boolean and the value is false. Now I am having do until, that is success, and equal to true. To make you understand, I have given one action inside my do until. What is this do until will do? Do until in Power Automate execute an action or series of actions until a specific condition is met. The actions within the do until loop are always executed at least once as the condition is checked at the end of each time the loop is executed. Right? There you can see we can clearly note that one. We have initialized the variable success with the data type as Boolean and the value we have given it as false. Now we are checking the condition success is equal to true. We know that one it will get fail. In that case, if you see the change limits over here, I have given count as 3. Right? Now first we will see that with the count equal to 3, I'm going to delete the timeout property over here. Alright, let me click on save. Now we'll test it by clicking on test and then I'm going to click on manually and I'm going to click on test. Now let's run the flow by clicking on run flow and then I'm going to click on done. Flow execution started and there you can see the flow has executed successfully. Now let's go for do until action. There you can see, as we know clearly this condition will never met, right? In that case it has been executed for 3 times. There you can see show 2 of 3. If I'm going to click on next, it is going for 3 of 3, right? Now this is one scenario. Now let me go ahead and let me click on edit once again. Now we are going for the timeout property. Let me delete this count property. And then what is the timeout? It has been given it as PT15M. What is this format? This is the ISO 8601 format. Nothing but international standard for describing dates, times and durations in a clear and unambiguous way. Right? P stands for period, is the duration designator and it is always at the beginning of the duration. And now coming to the T stands for time. It's a time designator and precedes the time component. Whereas 15, it's a numeric which we are going to give it. And after that, M is the minute designator that follows value for the number of minutes. Alright. This do until will run until the 15 minutes. After that, it will be timeout. Alright. Now let me go ahead. Let me click on test. And then I'm going to click on save and test. Let's click on run flow. Flow execution started over here. If you see do until action, there you can see it is trying to execute until the particular condition has been succeeded. Right. Right now, if you see it has been taken 33 seconds and it will continue to execute for until 15 minutes because we have given PT 15 minutes. Alright, let's go back to the PL500 question once again. There you can see I'm having 2 questions. First question, what does the value 3 in the count property represent? There are 2 responses are there. Now, if you see the first response over here, the do until action will retry up to 3 times if there are any failures. The second response, the do until action must succeed 3 times before move on to the next action. Now, as per our scenario, if you see success is equal to true, right? In our case, it will be always false or it will be always failure, right? So what it is doing, it is trying to retry up to 3 times because of the failure. So the first response, that is do until, will retry up to 3 times if there are any failures, is the correct response. Now going for the second question, what does the value PT 15 minutes in the timeout property represents? This is the ISO 8601 format. The do until will timeout when it reaches 15 minutes, right? There are 3 responses. The first one is that do until must run for minimum 15 minutes. No. The first response is not correct. The second one, the flow cannot exceed 15 minutes of total runtime. No, we have given only for do until action at the property of 15 minutes. So second response also is wrong. Now coming to the third one, the do until will time out when it reaches 15 minutes. Yes, correct. The third response is correct. The do until we have given timeout as 15 minutes. When it reaches 15 minutes, it will give it as timeout. Alright, let me reveal the answer. There you can see for the first question, value 3 in the count property represents the do until action will retry up to 3 times if there are any failures. Now coming to the second question, the value PT 15 minute, the timeout property represents the do until will timeout will reaches 15 minutes. Alright, I hope you understand how to work with do until action with the properties values such as count and timeout property as part of this tutorial.